Hello my friends, Elizaveta with you. Today is day 20th of our challenge. It's Saturday, but my husband and I, we are at his office where he works. It's Pool Kammerlook Frolinger. Beautiful office. I did a live video and posted some of the reception area and showed you my principal. There's a huge beautiful portrait of him. I started my legal career in this office. They used to be in a different location. It was, I believe, smaller office. They had a three-story building, but we were on the third floor, very cozy. And but a lot of the stuff, like some of the furniture, is from that place, and it's actually makes me a little bit nostalgic because I remember sitting in the boardroom with my then not spouse yet, and dealing with clients and learning from him and totally falling in love with him. That's what happened. Anyway, and I'm gonna blush. Anyway, so today, when I came last night from my office, and he said, let's do the dinner, and the kid's gonna be somewhere else. Let's do the dinner and work together. And I was so excited. I was like a little girl, like oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm going on a date with him. I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know. It was just wonderful news for me, and I was like all day excited. Here I am in this office. He is working, and I am just gonna do my video about like it's not gonna be about any particular law or the act or regulation or anything like that. It's gonna be about the legal profession and how we refer work to each other and so on. So first of all, I want to thank Empty Cup. I got my beautiful latte today, and also I don't know how to pronounce it restaurant. It's Thai restaurant on Cord and Sabah Thai, something like that. It was delicious, so we picked up that food there. Delicious dinner for us. We ate in the office, and here we are, well fed and happy. He's working. I'll be working after my video. So I want to tell you what cases I do not take in my practice. So I don't do any criminal cases because I believe those have to be dealt with the people who just specialize in that. Because even though I had a really good mark in criminal law in my law school, and I actually wanted to be a prosecutor, believe it or not, it just worked out that I didn't get a job as articling student in the prosecution, and I just opened later my own practice, as you know. But now I wouldn't switch. It's like I think it's too late, and maybe I wouldn't handle it. But anyway, I was watching too many shows on TV, so I wanted to be a prosecutor. But I don't do any criminal work. But I do get a lot of phone calls. Right, people get in trouble. Sometimes it's my clients who actually been my clients, and that's why they're phoning me, like sometimes from jail, saying like, listen, I was like stopped. I was like, I can't talk about what happened or whatever, right? And I say, okay, just stay put. I'm gonna find you a lawyer. And I always contact Jeff Ginden, and I've never met him in person, believe it or not, but I referred to him lots of Russian speaking clients, and he always answers the phone, even at midnight. That's one time we had a call at midnight. I phoned him, and he dealt with the police and my client and so on. So so if you get in trouble, right, you can be driving drunk or get in an accident or whatever happens, and you need a lawyer. And if you don't know anybody, I guess, and you my client, or you know about me, you can phone me, and if I answer, and you phone my assistant or text message or whatever, so we will find you a lawyer to deal with it. I'm not going to give you any advice because I don't know anything about this area. I don't want to give you wrong advice. That would be really, really wrong on my part to give it to you. Most of the calls that we get is domestic violence, and sometimes it's true, people get into fights, and they're in front of their kids even, and it's very nasty. So we listen a lot of like screaming, and sometimes I get those calls, and like on a weekend, let's say, right, and my kids are around, and I had that bad experience when I was on a speakerphone and somebody like yelling, and I said just leave the place, and like, you know, because things escalate so badly, and then police comes, and anyway, so some like for some of these kind of reasons, now I don't get any phone calls directly to me. They are referred to our messaging system or answering system, right? So I can screen, because I don't want to be driving with my kid and then I answer the phone and they're screaming and violence or whatever, or somebody is attacking me, telling me some nasty stuff or whatever, and that happens absolutely unexpectedly. So right, like I just answer the phone and people don't even ask if I'm with my kid or if I can talk or whatever. They assume that if I answer that they can just start pouring all the information. So that's why you'll never get me on my cell phone anymore or on my phone. It all goes to voicemail, and then after that our assistants, Russian speaking or English speaking, they will contact you, and then they will text me and say call this person. So now we have a screening system. So that's how it's going to be. For some people it's uncomfortable, but for me it's the best solution I had since, I don't know, last November, I think. I don't remember when we set it up. Anyway, so those are the cases that happen. So yeah, I could be a lawyer in the family file, right? I could be as a divorce lawyer in the family file, and then people get into trouble and the police gets involved. They phone me, and I usually don't get involved if there is charges and so on. So I do not deal with that part of the file. I'll continue as a family lawyer, but not with anything to deal with the police. Sometimes there's cases when there false allegations, right? The wife knows that she can usually it's women who phone police and say he abused me, he hit me, or whatever, right? And police comes. Sometimes they can do nothing, just give you a warning, and sometimes they can take you away and proceed from there. Then they'll let you out, but you'll have certain conditions that you cannot go to your own house, for example, right? So again, with these cases, I don't deal with a criminal matter, but I will refer you to a professional. We have cases of shoplifting as well. So sometimes people, do it, all right, for whatever reason, and we get a call from a police department, not police department, from police when this person isn't already in custody, and they phone and they ask what to do and so on. One case many years ago I had when police, and it's interesting that police finds me somehow. Maybe they just look for a Russian speaking lawyer. Let's say they have somebody arrested and the person doesn't speak the language. They will find a Russian speaking lawyer maybe somewhere in a law society system, or just Google it, and I get this call. And we had a case when the person was already had an order of deportation order, so they had to leave the country, and they didn't, and they were driving, maybe speeding or whatever. It was many years ago, and they were arrested, and the one of the people went to remand center, right? It's like jail, remand center, and there was his wife and the kid was left basically on the street, so I had to deal with them. That was quite an ordeal. Anyway, so that's the extent of me getting involved in those cases. When I was an articling student, I maybe right after, I remember going to court just to change the date for my clients on some domestic matters or whatever, but I don't really do it. I don't want to make any mistakes, because it's I feel like those mistakes, if you're going to jail or whatever, like those are huge mistakes. You cannot fix it. So it's not like you did some paperwork and something can be fixed, right? That's your life, right? So I don't want to touch it. It's not something I do. And further, I want to say, if there's any other matters that I can't do, like I feel okay, it's too much for me, uh, it's totally out of my like field, right? So I'll refer to you to somebody. Like I get phone calls, people say, well, I read your rating on a Google or in a lawyer's review. We really have great ratings, and I thank all my clients who going and rate us. Thank you so much. And I say, well, listen, sorry, I can't do that because I really don't know anything about it, and I can find out, but it's a very time consuming, it's going to be too expensive for you, or I'm not going to go do a good job in this area, so let me find you another lawyer. So I can send somebody here to PKF Lawyers, or I can send somebody to some other classmates of mine, because I graduated here in Manitoba, so a lot of lawyers. I have my classmates, and I like employment law, for example. I don't do anything on employment law, so I'll send it out. I'll recommend you to go somewhere else. Some litigation maybe matters, whatever matters that I don't usually practice, I'll send them out. Or like if I feel this file is too complex for me, not knowledge wise, but maybe time consuming, and my firm doesn't have that ability to serve that person really like well, give you all the attention that you need, I'm not gonna take it, even though I might make a lot of money on it. I feel that if I go into that file, I will jeopardize other files, and then I'll be just, my reputation is gonna go down, and I don't want it, because I build it from zero, right? Zero. I have no family in Manitoba, and I have my husband and my kid, but I don't have family in Manitoba. I didn't grow up in Manitoba. I don't have any connection in Manitoba. It's all from nothing. So as I say, I started my own firm on Osborne by Shoppers on Osborne, my favorite shoppers, and it was one little table, like one little desk, and like one chair and IKEA shelf. That's it. And it was a tiny, tiny room, rented, and it was a little bit shocking from going from a fancy office like this to opening a firm in the third floor, no elevator, and yeah, the no elevator, nothing, and yeah, and like no furniture, like nothing. And when I drive every day by that building, because I'm no longer there, I'm thinking, well, things really progress. I should be really happy how it's going and be thankful for everything I have, and thankful to my clients that I have built my team, that I've built my knowledge with you, because of you, right? Like if I didn't had any of my clients, like what I would be doing or learning or so on, right? So I do expand my knowledge as every basically day, because we have every day something comes up that you didn't even think about. It's like, whoa, what is it? Like, how do we deal with this? And it's amazing. Like it's great. It's very interesting. And Jamie and I were driving and saying, our jobs is so interesting, because it's never boring. It's like it's never same every day. Yes, it could be the same like real estate transaction, but there's something comes up, whether it's good or bad, whatever, right? But it's always keeps you excitable or something. Like for me, at least, I'm always like, oh my god, there's something else or whatever. Yeah, there's days that less stressful, there's some more stressful, but overall we really love it, and we always talk about in general about the cases, and ask each other questions, and I always say to him, it's like, I can't imagine being with somebody who is not a lawyer, because like, I don't know, I have nothing to talk about. I just talk about that, and I talk about makeup, that's it. That's all I can talk about, and a little bit of now NLP that I'm doing, and psychology, and so on. So that's it. I just wanted to let you know that if you do have a question, you can ask us, and if we do not know, I'll be happy to and give recommendation. I know lots of lawyers in the city, and Jamie knows lots of, because he's been practicing 25 years, and he does mostly litigation. That's what he loves to do, going to court. And and seeing him being so passionate about that is just like makes me a better lawyer, because I always say like I want to be like him. I want to be able to go to court and do that kind of work. And but it's very stressful. I see the amount of work he has to do to be prepared for trial. It's insane. It's like, I don't know if I can do it, like a big trial for a week. That it's it's very time consuming. It's lots of boxes and boxes of materials. And maybe one day I'll get to that. I don't know whether I want it or not, but I just like admire him really, like his dedication, right? So and always it always makes me like if I do something, I feel like, okay, I cannot do anything wrong, because I don't want to embarrass him in the profession. Even like, it's like he's kind of a guardian of my standard, I would say, because I don't want somebody to deal with me, let's say another lawyer, and say, oh, it's Turner's wife and she doesn't know what she's doing. Embarrassing, right? So I have to be like always on top. That's how I feel. It's my first time saying that in public, but I think it's good, because my quality of work, and then he can comment whether I'm doing well, like in terms of, because I have nobody to compare myself to, right? Like I'm a sole practitioner. I don't have like nobody sets targets for me, right? It's me. I have to set my own target. I say, this year I want to do this. This year I want to this. I want to increase. I want to do this. I want to do these videos. Let's say I have to come up with all my own stuff for extending my abilities and my work and my team and all that stuff, and it's all coming just from here. So there's no reference point. I have nobody to talk. Like when you're in a big firm, you can just, it's easy when you're in a big firm, like you have support, right? You can, if you don't know something, you can go and ask another guy who knows tons about it, right? Like when you're alone, it's much harder. You have to figure out yourself. Luckily, I have Jamie. If I don't know, I can ask him. And also I can go to and phone some of the lawyers that I work with, like on the files, for example, Jeff Shippett, right? He is a very known lawyer in Manitoba, and does tons of real estate. And if I have ever a question, I call or email him, and he always answers. And it's amazing. Like, we'll always have time for you to call back and explain something, right? So it's very important to have some people like that that can just give you a free advice as a lawyer, right? And that's what we do. I think our community is pretty good. Most of the lawyers are super friendly to each other, and if you need help on anything, I think they help. Like, I don't think there's any animosity or anything like that, like, or competition, whatever. There's so much work out there, and I think it's more than enough for everybody, because it's just it. Or maybe it's so much work for us. I don't know. I don't know other people if they're lacking any work, but we feel always behind. To be honest, like, you always think you can do more and more, and you have a stack of those files there, and you always feel behind. But we have only certain hours to work, and as we have other commitments like our kids and family and just plain rest that we need, because yesterday I did from 9 in the morning, I think, till 9 p.m. My only break was to pick up my son, take him home, and when I took him home, I did a phone appointment with a client, like for 30 minutes, and then I did a video, and then I got ready and I went back to the office. And it's a little bit crazy lifestyle, but we totally love it. I don't want to think about anything else that I would do. I love it, and I just dream about expanding it and turning it into something amazing, and giving hope to like other immigrants, like like me. I came, no parents, nothing. I went to school, my language wasn't that great, and I did it. So I have to say I am very proud of myself, even though I was shy about it. But it gives hope to other people, and whenever I see some people who saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do LSAT and I'm trying to go to law school or whatever," I will always talk to them about it and support them if they need, give them some advice, and but I also warn them how life is not easy as a lawyer. So much stress, and because it's not all about the money that people think. You charge $500 an hour, and people think that that's your $500 an hour, 8 hours a day. That's not how it works, right? So there are days that you can do only 2 billable hours, 3 billable hours, and that's it. And then from all the money you collect, you pay your rent, you pay your assistant, you pay your advertisement, you pay all that stuff. So I think when people go into the law school, right, and if they don't have a family member who is a lawyer, they have no clue. They have no clue what it is. What is it about? And I think it's probably um, any profession, right? Like we have no clue what it means to be living with a doctor who's on call all the time, or living with whatever other profession, right? The nurse who flies, let's say, up north all the time, and the kids don't see their mother or something, right? Every job has their side effects, I would say, right? But we love it. But whether I recommend it to my kids to become lawyers or not, I have no idea. As I say, just be healthy and do whatever you love, so you're passionate about it, because if you're not, you're gonna hate it and you're not gonna enjoy it, and no matter how much money you make, it's not gonna compensate that. So that's that for today, and I'm gonna do some family work right now. Tomorrow we'll try to make a video with my kids and because it's a weekend, that's why I'll be a little bit like light legal matters, and we want to talk about different nations, or different like different nations and their legal system. And our older one, Max, he loves that kind of a topic of history and stuff. He knows so much. He can talk nonstop, just like me, about stuff, right? And we're gonna try to make a video with him. I think it's gonna be super cute and super knowledgeable, and I bet I will learn a lot about stuff too, because when I took a legal history in law school, that's the last thing I'm gonna tell you. We had a very old professor, and he had a very heavy British accent, and at that time I couldn't understand anything he said. I have no idea how I passed. I had a great classmate. Actually, I have to thank all my classmates. If you're listening to me, thank you guys. You helped me to pass that law school, because it was really difficult with the language. And Paul was the one who helped me with the legal history. I think it was called legal history, because I couldn't understand a word with this accent. It was horrible. He was mumbling, that professor. I'm sure he was very knowledgeable, great professor, but for me it was like total disaster. And I still passed it, yeah. And what I used to do, I used to record also all my lectures and listen to this again and again, because I really couldn't catch all the legal stuff. It was lots of work, but I bet if I went back, it would be just like easy, but whatever. I did it. Anyway, so the law school here is great. People super friendly, at least at my during my time. It was amazing. Everybody would be helping each other. Like we would study at the library a lot, and then articling, and now during the practice I find that people are super nice. Like occasionally you have some nasty whatever person to call you, but whatever, maybe that's their way of dealing with everything in life, right? And then but usually 99%, 99.9 super nice lawyers. Always can ask a question and they help you. And just dealing every day, dealing. It's not like we're yelling at each other and fighting for the rights of our clients. Yes, we do, but with a lot of respect to each other as one another, as a lawyer, as colleagues, I would say, right? So that's it for tonight. See you.